Welcome back, everybody. It's another episode of Porch Talk, and we're back here with one of our special series that we do, and that is Boys Join The Porch. And we got Thomas and Logan back with us. We got Jamar here in spirit, and as well as Rusty and now John. John might be hopping on later, so we'll see. But this is episode 11 of our Boys Join The Porch series. So if you haven't seen those before, go back and check them out. We cover a lot of just professional sports and college sports, and sometimes it just gets off the rails and we just kind of end up wherever. And so, and that's kind of the typical, thing on this. We like to kind of give our opinions on the sports, but, whatever kind of comes, we'll start a conversation and roll with it or debate, whatever it turns into. First thing we do want to preview, though, is the college football playoff. Great time of the year, I think. Everybody's kind of excited for this. First game's tomorrow night. So I guess we can kind of just hop in right there. We have Indiana, which I think, off the top of my head, I think it's a 7 seed. And Notre Dame's a 7 seed, Indiana's a 10 seed, if I'm not mistaken. I probably need to put this up on Google. And so that way I have
That's
it.
right.
They're out. And so they are playing at Notre Dame. I think 3 of the games tomorrow, if I'm not mistaken, or this weekend, are all in the 20s as far as the temperature. It'll be cold game. And I think I don't know if I'm mistaken or not, but Notre Dame, I think, tees a new uniform for tomorrow night. Maybe some like black and neon greens. I think that's what the opinion is or rumor is right now. But I'll go ahead. I'll send it to you, Thomas. Who do you have in this game? And I also want to say this: even when John gets on, we're making our picks and kind of giving our prediction before the playoffs get started on who we think is going to win. So that way it's on record. But go ahead, Thomas. What do you think about Indiana at Notre Dame?
I really want to believe in Indiana. They, I don't know, I just like to see them as a football school for 1 year and see them go decent into the playoffs. I think whoever wins this game is going to lose next round, in my opinion. But Notre Dame has looked pretty good of late. Indiana having a hard time scoring against decent defenses, which Notre Dame does have. So it's going to be an uphill battle for Indiana, but I'm still going to ride with them just because I want to see it.
What you got, Logan?
I hate to spoil it early, but I have been on record for the last 3 years saying that the expanded playoff was dumb because the best team is always going to win regardless, and all the terrible things that I've said about this a great thing that has been put into our laps. But I'm going to go Notre Dame. I don't care if they're a football school or not, if Indiana's a football school or not.
Well, I like the playoff. I do think that this year, although I will say, and we'll get to Oregon here in a second because I guess we'll go further into this, but I think Oregon has definitely been a dominant team. But I think the SEC this year, me and Rusty talked about it there last week. I think the SEC is probably the worst it's been in the last few years, or at least the most vulnerable. I'll say that. I don't know that. They still have a lot of great teams, but I don't know that this year, like anybody truly, I think, could win it. I think Oregon is the favorite, but they also got a tough draw having to play Ohio State or Tennessee. But I'm going with Notre Dame. I think they have played very well after that Northern Illinois loss. It seems like to be just a different team. I do kind of hate the fact that they're almost an automatic bid every year, it seems like now, these playoffs, because the schedule they play where they're not really in a conference, whatever. But I have them winning this game. I like Leonard a lot, the quarterback. I think when you get to the playoffs, and I know this is the first time we got a 12-team playoff, but just when you get in the postseason or crunch time, you need good quarterback play, and I think he's one of them that, I think can showcase that. I have Notre Dame winning. I would like to see my heart would love to see Indiana win because I love Singeti and the story there, but I'm going with Notre Dame in this one. I sent Jamar a message, and we'll see if he gets back to us while we're recording, see his predictions.
He's not busy.
Yeah, he may not, but We'll go ahead. That was a 7-10 matchup. I don't know. I know these next three happen on Saturday. So I think the first one is SMU, which is the 11th seed, and they're playing at Penn State, 6th seed. Great opportunity for a wideout game, which they're going to have, but they're not having it at night. It's at 12 o'clock. So I think Jamar had mentioned that on one of the episodes the past few weeks that they would end up screwing that up, and they did. I'm sure it'll still be a special game. I'll go ahead and send it to you first, Thomas.
I love Penn State. I said that in the first college preview of the year. I think they're a really good team. I think this could be the year they finally win a big game every now and then. So I'm going with Penn State.
I'm going to say I'm going to completely go against what I just said, only because it's SMU and the history with, their past and all that. I mean, they got the cool logo, the death penalty, everything. I'm going to go SMU against a possible future Panther in Abdul Carter.
Yeah, I mean, you don't want him to get up to like number one because you're on number one this year. I don't think.
I think we're 5 right now.
Yeah, so you need, maybe a first round loss will kind of humble him a little bit. Not necessarily humble him, but maybe like put down expectations a little bit to fall to 5. But he is good, very good. Now, for us who was on here, I think that he would say the guy they got on the end is better because he was kind of
obviously
tooting his horn. Remember his name? I know Rusty could tell me, but the guy that exploded on the Texas game when Georgia played Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I would like to see SMU win, but I do think that Penn State, when they're not playing anybody, like when they're not playing Ohio State or Michigan, they're probably one of the best teams in the country every year. I think the stat, I can't remember the exact amount of years, but since they were doing the 4-team playoff, if they had done a 12-team playoff, they had been in the playoff almost every single year. So I do think they're going to be excited to showcase, a little bit on the stage, like on that particular stage. And I mean, let's just be honest, like their path is a pretty good path. Like if they do beat SMU, and they'll have to play Boise State, and then even past that, so we'll get into it a little bit, but they could end up playing maybe Georgia and whoever the winner of the 7-10 is. So they don't even have to worry about Ohio State or Oregon for that matter. So definitely a good path if you're Penn State. I have them winning this one, and I don't think I'd like to see it be close, but I don't think it'll be close. So we'll go to 12 Clemson versus 5 Texas. And this is the only game I think this week that's supposed to be like somewhat reasonable of a temperature. I think it's like 60 degrees. All the other ones are like in the 20s. So the winner of this will get to play Arizona State. I'll go ahead and send it to you first, Tom.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game. I'm excited for both these later games tomorrow. I think it could be interesting. They're both kind of hit or miss teams, I think, Texas and Clemson. Texas, I think I said at the beginning of the year, don't fact check me, that I felt like Texas and Georgia were the 2 best teams, and Penn State and Oregon somewhere behind there. But as far as talent, I really like Texas. It's hard for me to bet against them. I think he struggled against the really good defenses like Georgia. I don't think he's gonna struggle against Clemson's defense as much. So I'm gonna go Texas.
Yeah, same here, Texas for me. I think they just have too much talent, and I could not be more anti-Dabo than anybody. So horns up.
Yeah, I like Dabo. I don't trust Cade Klubnik though.
Yeah, I'm very pro Dabo. I love Dabo, but and crazy thing
he's a phony.
I saw the other day he's starting to get involved in the portal. So
yeah, I saw that.
That's something new. Yeah. So, but I'm going with Clemson for the upset. I think Texas, and I've been saying that, I think they're overrated. I do think they have some very good talent. I think Quinn is a great quarterback. Like you said, he does struggle in moments, but I just think and Clemson, you can make the same argument. Don't get me wrong. Neither one, I know for sure Texas, and I think Clemson too, have beaten a team. Well, I guess you can say Clemson now has beat SMU, but before that, none of those two had beaten a top 25 team, or at least one that are top 25 now. So I think to me, I think it's just makes me skeptical a little bit on Texas. And I think that they might come into this game maybe not with the chip on the shoulder that Clemson's going to have. And because nobody's going to pick Clemson to win. And I think Dabo's going to do a great job of kind of motivating his players in this game. I have Clemson winning, pulling off the upset. So we'll.
Yeah, when you look at playoff experience, Dabo, out of all 12 of these teams, he's been there, he's done it. I mean, I think he'll have his team ready.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I think defensively, I think will be the big thing. I think they'll be very solid on defense enough to keep this game, if anything else, close. I hope. So that way I don't look like too much of an idiot here online. Let's see. And then we have probably the premier game. I think it is the night game on Saturday. And that is number 9 seed Tennessee against 8 seed Ohio State. Now, this is in the shoe. But as we mentioned in our group chat earlier today, I think the ticket places are like crazy. It's like going to Tennessee like 60-40 in some places. And I know those aren't like probably super accurate, but as mentioned before, Tennessee, apparently they got a hold of like the pre-sale code for the Ohio State season ticket holders, and they just went in. I mean, they have spent the money and are going to make a presence there, which is just wild. And, I think there is a certain like portion of Ohio State fans that kind of almost hope they don't win it, just because they want to get rid of Ryan Day so bad.
I know you hope they don't win it.
Listen, I'm not an Ohio State fan, but they need somebody
You've been trying
else
to get rid of Ryan Day for 4 years.
You got to beat Michigan, man. You have to beat Michigan. That's the thing with them.
Real quick, let me throw mine out there. I gotta take a slight break.
You're good.
I'm gonna Ohio State. Ryan Day lives to see another week.
Okay. Go ahead, Thomas. I'll send it over to you.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this game. It's going to be good. Tennessee's defense is so good. Ohio State's got a good defense too. So usually when that happens, we're seeing two defensive juggernauts. It's going to be like 50-40 final score.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to watch it. I think it's going to be a really good game. I want Tennessee to win. A lot of loved ones I know are Tennessee fans, but it's Tennessee, and I just feel like it's like death taxes, and Tennessee's going to let their fans down.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but and Ohio State, it's like they're right there every single year. They're prepared. They're built for it. I think Ohio State's going to win this one.
Yeah, I think on paper, I think Ohio State has a better team from top to bottom. And you're right. Like when they get to the playoffs, even if it's a 4 team, they do take it up a notch, despite I think the shortcomings of their coach. But I don't know, man. I just feel like I think stylistically, I think that defense wins playoff time, and I think that Tennessee has one of the better defenses in the country. And
yeah, very good.
Yeah, and I think that just with all the questions around Ohio State, and they could flip the narrative and be like, it's everybody against us or us against the world, whatever, and could use that. But I'm going with Tennessee to win this one. Now, granted, I do think that they need. I think Nico has to have a good, clean game. I don't think he has to go crazy or anything like that, but he has to keep the ball it can't turn the ball over.
Yeah, if they can keep him reined in, I think that's been a problem with him a lot this year. He's young. He makes a lot of young mistakes, and he's got all the talent in the world. He's just a very sporadic player,
Oh, for sure. And the thing is with all the money that they spent at Ohio State to win the championship, to lose out in the first round and to lose to Michigan again, a team that had no business being on the same field as Ohio State. I mean, there'll be probably more than just Ryan Day will be gone. Like they'll have a exodus of coaches because you can't spend that kind of money and not produce results.
We still talking about Ryan Day?
Yes. Do you want to
Yeah.
hop back in? You can hop back in on the Ryan Day. Hey,
No, I said what I needed to say.
I think that he is a great politician coach. If that makes sense. I think he kind of came in at a time that he could say the right things and not draw too much of a bad press, I guess. And he's just, I don't know. I saw, was it one of the former Ohio State players? I can't remember his name, but said that years ago, I can't remember what game it was, but it was the last game of the year, maybe a playoff game or Michigan game or conference championship. I don't know. But he said that he knew, like he could see the writing on the wall when at halftime or maybe at the end of the game, Day didn't come and address the players at all. He just went and shoot out his assistant coaches. And I think that, I know they're college kids, but you do have to have some sort of sense of leadership. I mean, you look at Coach Campbell, Detroit. I mean, those are adults, grown men playing, but the leadership is still a big factor there, and it makes a difference. So, sorry, I was trying to send this. So, now we're going to go to the second round, and I'll try to recap or just kind of remember what y'all had. So, the Indiana-Notre Dame matchup, we all had Notre Dame, right? Or did you have Indiana, Thomas?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
But
So, Thomas, you have Indiana going against Georgia.
A weak pick.
Well, I mean, I like spaghetti. I
confidence.
think that it could happen. So you have them versus Georgia. Me and Logan have Notre Dame versus Georgia. So, Thomas, who do you have in that second round, Indiana versus Georgia?
I got Georgia. I think Georgia's got a really easy path. I think they're a great team, probably the best team, even though Oregon's looked better all year. But yeah, I think Georgia's going to win that one pretty handily. I think that's going to be the worst game of the whole playoffs, probably.
You, Logan, Notre Dame versus Georgia for you.
Georgia for me too. There's so much talent all over the field. I mean, most of those guys have been there, done that. And there's been one upset in the history of the college football playoffs, and I've already projected another one, so I don't see any more happening this year, maybe next year.
Yep. And I'm going to look either really stupid when all this comes out, or maybe a genius, because I'm going with Georgia to get beat.
Probably.
I do think that losing Beck is a big factor. And then the backup last week got his head knocked off, so I don't know, what the status is there if he's playing. I'm sure he will be by the time they come around, since they get that first round bye. But I'm going with Notre Dame. I think that not having Beck there, I think that Notre Dame's got the chip on their shoulder. I think they're going to have something to prove, and just don't feel great about Georgia this year. I think that first game against Texas, they looked amazing. And you're like, okay, this is the Georgia team we've seen from the past few years. But the rest of the year, I mean, we've not really saw that, I don't think. They beat, maybe they beat Tennessee, I think. But, I mean, even in that, there's a lot of them that were very close. Like the UMass game was unusual. Like it was, you saw some weaknesses there, and they lost to Ole Miss. But I just think Georgia is vulnerable this year, and I think Notre Dame's going to come in there if they get that first win against Indiana. I think everything's looking good mentally there. I think they could do it. I think they can pull it off.
Can we just all agree that Notre Dame should have to join a conference?
Oh yeah, 100%. The ACC. Like if you're going to have, if you're going to be in, if you're going to be in it in basketball, why can't you be in it in football? That makes no sense.
I love it. I mean, I don't know why. It just cracks me up every year.
Yeah, I mean, it's
the libertarian in me.
I mean, I respect not wanting to join in for the sake of rebelling, but at the same time, it's like
without a cause.
Well, I'll say now there is a cause, kind of, because they're trying to benefit from it. So it's kind of like a a great pathway for them every year. They don't have to deal with
Literally, like, they're going to be there every single year as long as they're decent.
Yeah, I mean, and what a great selling point to like any recruit. Like, you're going to be in the playoff every year. And I mean, I'm sure they got the money too to kind of throw in there and entice some people.
That seems to paying players seems to go against tradition, but joining a conference is not okay.
It's a business now. I mean, your new coach. Congratulations, by the way, Coach Belichick is
Chapel Bill, baby,
now over there at UNC. So, you know, he told you, he's like, it's a business now. So, I think that I mean, it's part of the game.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Okay, so let's go down here now. You know, SMU, Penn State. I had Penn State. Thomas had Penn State. Logan, you had SMU. So, Thomas, Boise State against Penn State. Who you got?
Yeah, I got Penn State. Staying with Penn State. I would love to see Janty come out with a chip on his shoulder after losing the Heisman, arguably being robbed of the Heisman, which I don't know how much more of a chip he can have on his shoulders. He can't really run harder, better than he already does.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, what a chip on his shoulder looks like, other than just completely untackable.
Well, go ahead.
Tackleable.
You go ahead and tell us about the Heisman, your thoughts on that, because, I think, this is a good time as any to kind of bring that up. You think he got robbed?
I do, yeah. I mean, when you look at the team success, like, I know it's an individual award, but when you look at the team success, they did way better than I think most people expected them to. His numbers were probably the best running back season we've ever seen. We've had running backs win it before, and his numbers are way better than every single one of them, even Ricky Williams back in the day. So, yeah, I think you should have won it. Travis Hunter, I mean, obviously that's something we've never seen before, playing both sides of the ball at a very high level. And I do respect that. It's tough to beat. I mean, but I would have gone with Janty just because that was just being the very best at your position on a good team by miles. Like, thought I should have got it. He should have got it.
Well, go ahead and kind of tell us SMU versus Boise State, but also you can kind of chime in on that Heisman talk as well.
I think the Heisman went to who deserved it. I'm not saying that Genty didn't, but Travis Hunter's playing both ways all game, not one side of the ball 100% of the snaps, and then he's got a package or two on the other side. I'm talking this man played the entire game, and he's really good at both sides of the ball. I don't know how you don't give it to him. And I mean, y'all know how I feel about running backs anyway, so that's probably not a surprise. But if anybody's listening, I think they should get paid federal minimum wage, no overtime, no holidays, no PTO, whatever minimum wage is now.
Wow!
You showed it. We are honored to be in the presence of.
Did y'all win tonight?
John Morton.
Yeah. I had my tonight was the first game I got to coach JV. We won
1-0, baby.
When we were playing at Grundy, we should have won that game. We were up 15 after 3 or sometime in the third. One of our players goes to the line in the fourth. Okay, he has the wrong jersey number on, so they start buzzing as he's about to shoot free throws. More yells and is like, "What's happening?" He's trying to shoot free throws. And then I kind of mirrored that energy. And on NFHS, you can see me like stand up and do this to the scoring table. I'm like, how in the world is he not in the book? He's already played 3 quarters. And one of the refs ran over and was like, get him under control or I'm going to toss him out of here.
They said that about you?
Yeah. This ain't my first time. Well, you should.
I
Wow.
just sat down. I was a good boy the rest of the night.
You, if more ever wants to know if you can handle it or not, you just need to go back all those old 2K teams that we used to manage and show them your record on there. You'll be just fine.
No, you haven't got a chance to pick yet. You gave your opinion on the Hunter and Genty, but you didn't pick the game.
I gave the correct opinion on Hunter. What was the game we're talking about?
SMU and Boise State for you.
Oh, that's Boise. Genty's going to run all over them. I mean, like I said, the Cinderella story's over. There's been one upset in the history of this playoff.
Yeah,
There's not going to be more than one, and that's the one.
I got you. Well, for me, I'll go ahead and hop on the Genty train. I do think that he should have won it. I do think that it's amazing what Travis Hunter did, and I do think that Travis Hunter is the better overall player. I do think that, but I think there's been plenty of times where we have had seasons in college that the best overall player may not have won the Heisman, but of course, they go on to get paid pretty well in the NFL, and they are able to kind of make a good career. But I think that Hunter's probably the better overall player, and I do think it's respectable to see him, play every single snap the way he has, and even at a very high level on both sides. But as the Oregon Ducks said, was it snap count isn't a stat or something like that? I think that's a pretty good motto there.
I don't think that's true.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know, but I do think and it's been mentioned a few times. I think we mentioned it when we were all eating last week. But if you take Genty off of Boise State, put him on Colorado, that team is maybe better, But you take Hunter off of Colorado and put him on Boise State, I don't think they're in the position they are in right now. And I do think it's worth noting, if they would have, won the group of 5, bid, and they ended up as the 12th seed, or even got lucky enough to be the 4 seed, you're like, okay. But he was so good that he got in the top 3. Like, Boise State got in the top 3. And I think going into this, if you was to, be pre-planning this whole 12-team playoff, I don't think anybody would have ever thought that the group of 5 team would have been in the top 3. I think maybe 4 because the Big 12, is kind of shaky, but to be in the top 3 is pretty crazy. So I think Genty should have won it. I had Penn State and Boise State in this one, so I have I have Penn State beating Boise State. John, just to kind of catch you up a little bit, where we're at right now as we made the first round picks, and so we can kind of run through it real quick with you and let you kind of pick them, and you can kind of spend however long you want to spend on them. But Indiana, Notre Dame, who you got in that one?
I got Notre Dame.
Okay.
What's the spread on that? It's like 12.5.
Oh man, I haven't even looked at the spreads yet. I'd have to go look.
Yeah,
I don't
me either.
You looking at him, Logan?
I
Oh,
can,
sorry.
yeah.
You was like really
No, you're
attentive.
good. I
Like,
got you.
looking over, so I thought, like, okay, he's looking them up. But
I was.
you don't
but
have
it's
to.
fine. I got you.
Anyways, I got Indiana, but I got Notre Dame by 10.
Notre Dame by 10. Okay.
Damn.
Slightly close.
Okay. So floating around the line there if it is 12.
You think Notre Dame should have to join the conference?
No.
You're the only one. So we all thought that,
I mean, unless like a Super League happens.
What do you consider the SEC right now?
I mean, like, say the SEC and Big Ten, like all the top schools join together,
In Carolina, right?
and Bill Belichick you. I think they have a good spot now. I know that they can never have a bye, but they basically already have a bye because they'll never play a conference title.
Notre Dame's favored by 7.
7. Okay. So it went down a little bit.
Okay, well, I got Notre Dame by about 10. I think it'll be a good game.
And I agree with John that they should not join a conference.
Wrong.
I think that if you were Notre Dame, I agree that I wouldn't. But I think that as an outsider, I would like to see it join a conference.
if they shouldn't
think
have
the
to join
only
a
reason-
conference,
I think
Go
the
ahead,
only
John.
reason Notre Dame's so prestigious in our lifetimes is because they're independent. They're different.
I mean, the biggest thing for me about them is the most memorable moment in Notre Dame history that I can remember is them losing to USC that year in the Bush Push.
Mine is the Manti Te'o.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that too.
yeah, for sure. That's it. That's the one.
Yeah. Sorry, Logan, you was about to say something.
I'm just saying, if you want to talk about tradition and not joining a conference because of it, you shouldn't be able to use the NIL or the portal.
Go strict the way Dabo thought this past season.
Let's take it back to Old Testament times here.
So we got Notre Dame and Georgia for you in that round. Let's go ahead and go to SMU, Penn State. Who do you have in that one?
I'm gonna be different. I don't know what y'all said, but I'm going to go with SMU in an upset.
Well, you,
My
yeah, you're
boy.
right there with
My
Logan
boy.
on that one. We'll flip over here to the other side. Clemson versus Texas.
Texas names the score.
The Clemson, but I was in the minority. Tennessee at Ohio State.
Give me the balls.
All right.
They're going to plant a flag.
I saw that.
And all hell is going to break
yeah,
loose.
I saw that somebody posted that. I can't remember the player's name, but they were like, this guy will plant it. He does not care.
Josh Heupel's not going to be able to coach in the next round because he's going to be a convicted.
Yeah. Tennessee fans have already like mapped out a way to get their goalpost out of the shoe, and I guess I don't know where they're going to take it to, but they got a path.
That tells me they're losing.
Yeah, you
I
can't.
don't know. Yeah.
That's the most Tennessee thing I've ever heard. That's guaranteeing a Tennessee loss.
I really wish Jay Moore was on. I got some things to say about Tennessee, too.
I'm sure he'll listen to it for sure. So you're almost caught up with us. Indiana, Notre Dame. So you picked Notre Dame. So Notre Dame versus Georgia for you. Who wins that?
Well, Rusty's not on here, so I won't give you a 30-minute breakdown on how good Georgia's run blocking schemes are.
Every single round.
But I'll go with Georgia.
Okay. So now you're
Just on repeat.
right here where we're at. Yeah, you had SMU. So 2-part question, really. SMU versus Boise, who do you have? But also your thoughts on the Heisman and how that kind of unfolded.
I think Genty got robbed. I mean, you see these comparisons on Facebook and stuff of his stats versus like Mark Ingram and other running backs, and his are insanely better. Boise's the better team, obviously. They're in the playoff. They probably could have won the Big 12, honestly. Yeah, Travis Hunter is a unicorn. That's really cool. But I feel like you should have given it to Genty, but oh well.
Federal minimum wage.
But who do you have in your matchup between Boise State and SMU?
Well, I'll give you a hint. One of them's a horse. It's Boise State.
Okay, so now we're on the other side. We're all caught up. If you're wondering, John, I think that Logan and Thomas had Georgia winning that second round. I had Notre Dame, and then we all picked Penn State. Is that right? No, one of you would have picked Boise. Logan, you picked Boise, didn't you? Because you had Boise and SMU.
Yeah, I had Boise.
So me and Thomas picked Penn State to advance, and he had Boise with you, John. So that's kind of where we're at right now. Now we're going to flip over here to the other side, which is the matchup of Arizona State versus the Clemson Texas winner. We'll send it to Thomas first. So you had Texas winning that one, right, Thomas?
Yeah.
Okay. So everybody had Texas except for me, I think. I had Clemson. So, Thomas, go ahead. Texas versus Arizona State.
Yeah, Arizona State, I mean, I don't know that there's a team hotter than Arizona State right now. They're like, talk about a team that got everything clicking at the right time. But I'm still going to go with Texas. I really like that team, all the talent they have, even though they haven't shown it to their full potential every game this year. I just really like Texas. I think they're going to get past Arizona State.
Logan, who do you have in this one? I think you.
Horns up.
Yeah. Horns up.
Horns up. Arizona State's not good enough to make Quinn Ewers look like he's never touched a football before, so.
I'll go ahead and give mine. I'll send to John. I got Clemson continuing the somewhat of a Cinderella case because of the 12th seed, but not really. I have Clemson beating Arizona State in this one and advancing in an upset. What you, John?
This is forks up. This is forks down. Give me the Longhorns.
Awesome.
Show me that forks down again, Alex.
So me and John had Tennessee. You all had Ohio State, right?
Yeah.
This one, okay. So Thomas, will start off with you again. you have Ohio State versus Oregon in the rematch. Who do you have?
I think it's going to be Oregon again. It's going to be a good game, but Oregon's a really complete team. They've shown it all year, so you go with Oregon.
What about you, Logan? Who do you have in the same matchup?
Well, I picked Ohio State to win it all at the beginning of the year, but I also said no more upsets. So I got to go Oregon. They're really good.
I have Tennessee and Oregon in there. I do think that it'll be kind of close for a quarter, but then I think Oregon will just run away with it. I do think Oregon is the best team in college football right now. Top to bottom, just even on defense. I know that Penn State game was kind of, not a lot of defense was played in that one, but I do love Coach Lanning. I think he is a heck of a coach, maybe the best coach, or one of the top coaches right now that's left in college football. I have Oregon beating Tennessee.
Oregon.
I tell you, you definitely love them, John, with the hearts coming out of there, the logo.
Didn't you do that the last time?
I think you did.
I don't buy that.
Oh, yeah, you made a heart. That's what it was. He thought you were making a heart.
Yeah. All right, so now we're in the semifinals. We have Georgia for, I think, everybody but me. I have Notre Dame. So, I'll see if I can remember this right. So, Thomas, let's go ahead and go to you. You got Georgia versus Penn State, right?
Yes.
Okay, who do you got in the semifinal there?
I'm going to go with Georgia. They're, the quarterback situation against Penn State defense could give them issues, but I'm just going to go with Georgia. I think they're just so good. They dominate the line of scrimmage, which is the most important part of the game. So, I'm going to go with Georgia.
I thought that was kickers.
Let's not talk about kickers.
I'm sorry.
Sore subject.
My bad.
Okay.
Yeah, same for me.
Yeah.
I got Georgia too. Too much talent.
Yeah, you had them over Boise, right there.
Yeah.
I have Georgia, or I have Notre Dame actually against Penn State in this one. I think this will be a great game. I think it'll come down to the wire. I have, again, I think Leonard's going to be the player of the playoffs, at least on this side of the bracket. I have Notre Dame winning, and I have them going to the national championship. What do you have, John? You have, Georgia versus Boise, right?
I will take Georgia
And
in a close one.
Georgia, has an absolute cakewalk to the final.
Yes, absolutely.
what? I mean,
with all due respect to Penn State,
but without the starting
who I
quarterback,
didn't have them winning the first game.
I think they're better without Carson Beck.
Yeah,
Think
Carson
so?
Beck sucks.
I mean, I don't think he's the best either. Don't get me wrong, but you get games like at this level. It's good to have a familiar face in there. It's kind of dealt with the adversity before in big games. And like I said before you got on, John, the backup got his head took off last week, so I really don't know. Who's playing as far as their third. I mean, they're all 5 stars. I mean, it don't really matter probably. I think in this.
You got to think this is going to be. That game will be in 3 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
How long's Beck out?
Yeah, I think he didn't tear his PCL or something.
I don't know. If I see anything Georgia football, I just keep scrolling.
We should have phoned in Rusty and see if we can find out. But I'm about positive that he's out for the rest of the playoffs.
Oh, well. That's fair.
Yeah.
Then. Just throw another 5-star in there. It's whatever.
So you all have Georgia. I have Notre Dame in the championship. On the other side, we got an Oregon versus, I think you all have Texas, right? And I have Clemson. So, Thomas, what do you got? Oregon versus Texas.
My brain says Oregon because they're so good and they've shown it, unlike Texas, all year. But to stick with what I said at the beginning of the year on our college football preview, that Texas and Georgia are the best teams. I'm gonna go with Texas. Their talent's gonna finally show through, and they're gonna make it.
So we're gonna have in your mind, you're gonna have Texas versus, and we'll probably find the same out with Logan here, but Texas versus Georgia for the third time.
Yeah.
Championship. Oh gosh.
The same reason
Them's
that I said
fighting
Texas was going
words.
to win the last
Yeah.
game. I don't know why. Like, I'm not going to get into horns down that topic. But because that's just frustrating.
I know.
The same reason that I said Texas would win the last game is what's going to cause them to lose this game. They're going to run into a talented team, and Quinn Ewers is going to forget how to play football. And Oregon's the best team. And like I said, for the last 3-4 years, I've said this is dumb. They shouldn't do this. The best team's always going to win. It's not basketball. So I don't roll with the best team here. Spoiler alert for my championship pick.
Yeah, I also have Oregon kind of ending Clemson's some of a Cinderella run that I have, and I think it'll be a blowout. I have Oregon and Notre Dame in the championship. What do you have, John?
I have Georgia and Texas for the 3-peat and the title.
Now, to be honest, like, are y'all excited about that, or is it just like, that's kind of how I am.
I think
don't
the
care.
games, they got better. I mean,
Mhm.
the SEC title game was a good game.
Yeah.
Am I excited? Not really, but
Still going to watch.
yeah. I mean, I watched the Chiefs in the Super Bowl for like 4 of the last 5 years.
Yeah. Again, sore
Yeah.
subject there.
At this point, there should be like no more surprises, like it should just be like pure football. Like we know what we're going to get.
Mhm.
They know what they're going to get. Like just out there, come down to coaching and fundamentals, So we'll see. Maybe there's a beauty to that, but yeah, I'm not super excited about it.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
Well, I guess we'll go ahead and make our champion pick. I think Logan already hinted at his, but
Quack, quack, baby.
yeah. So he's got Oregon. Who do you have win the championship? I thought he was like putting up the cat, like that was like a hit. And I was like, wait a minute, I don't know that.
She is bothering me.
I don't know. We got any cats left. Who do you have, Thomas?
I'm going to go with Georgia. Stay true to my pick many weeks ago that Georgia was going to win again. They just a good team, a good program. Hate to say that for Rusty, but I do have a question. Just a side note. How short of a leash do you think Texas will have on Ewers in these playoff games?
I
Like
think
if he-
it'll be kind of short.
If he comes out and struggles the first half of the first game, you think they consider switching?
Yes. If it's like it was the first game, and the way that Quinn struggled in that one, I do think that they'll switch, because I don't think that you can afford to. I mean, if he's just not feeling it that night or whatever the case may be, you have to make a switch quick before the damage is like too much to overcome. But and
You're saying like a
also as
Jalen
coach,
Hurts, Tua situation?
That was such a fun night.
Yeah. I mean, that could happen. I hope. I say the thing is, like, it's gonna be weird next year. I guess it depends on if Quinn goes or not. But it's gonna be weird seeing that dynamic, like seeing who is gonna take that position, because there's a lot of money involved with both of them.
You know where Quinn's going?
Well,
Chapel, Bill.
I think Quinn will be very encouraged to go to the draft.
yeah.
I do think that they will. If Quinn comes out and struggles early, I think they'll go ahead and just make that switch now. Because and now it's do or die. But if you're a longtime listener of this great podcast, you'll know how I feel about you dance with who brought you. So I don't think that you should do that, but I do think that they will.
Yeah. I guess I don't think I've set my pick yet, or maybe I have Oregon. I have Oregon winning against Notre Dame. I think it'll be a close game through about half of it, but I do think that Oregon will pull away at the end. Who do you have, John?
I have the Georgia Bulldogs beating Texas for the 3rd time.
Reggie's gonna be so happy listening to this pod. So, but I guess what we're gonna do now is just kind of toss around some things and just kind of talk a little bit. We won't spend a whole lot of time because it is kind of late, but we're just gonna kind of talk about some fun stuff. I had to pull up the group chat and just kind of remember what and all we had. But I do know, just to kind of get us started, that Jamar wanted me to ask this question. And John, I know that I've already told them because they were on a little bit earlier, but what we're looking at is if you was to go golfing, okay, and you had 3 people that you're playing golf with, and you'd also, well, I'm gonna say this first: 3 people you're playing golf with. It could be an athlete, past or present. Who would those 3 be? Also, side note or question: who would you who would you be pairing up as far as riding the golf cart with in that group? So we'll start with Thomas. We'll just kind of keep in the same order, just so that way it kind of stays organized. But who do you got, Thomas, on that one?
I forgot about this question. I've not been thinking about it.
You can take your time. I can
number one,
edit out some empty space.
Which I think my number one pick is very easy, and that's the reason that I'm a Cincinnati Bengals fan. That's Chad Johnson. He would be the number one athlete doing anything with, honestly. Like any event, I'll take golfing, but yeah, Chad Johnson, he's going to be in the cart with me.
What are we doing?
3 athletes to go golfing with. Yeah. I would have to pick. I need to figure out which athletes would be bad at golf, because it would be a real terrible day if I'm out there hitting balls into the woods and they're like waiting on me all day. So, yeah, I don't know if Chad Johnson golfs. He would probably say that he's great at it, but he would say that he's great at anything. So I'll go with him. I need somebody for him to trash talk that I could also get along with. Maybe, I like Ryan Clark. Even though he's a Steeler, he's probably my favorite Steeler, former Steeler. So, and I think Chad Johnson and Ryan Clark could be some good entertainment. And then I'll go with Joe Burrow. Then we got 3 Bengals against the 1 Steeler. We got 2 of my favorite athletes of all time. So I'll go Joe Burrow, Chad Johnson, Ryan Clark. And I don't know if that's my true answer. Like, if I had time to think about it, I may go with different ones, but that's what I go with for now.
Who are you riding in the cart with? If you just pick one.
Chad Johnson.
Over Joe?
Ocho Cinco. Yeah. I mean, I got this candle, so I already know what he smells like.
He said, I got this candle.
So it's like, I don't know what Chad Johnson smells like necessarily, so.
Yeah. 100%.
I'll ride with Chad.
I thought that candle would be in the bedroom. But I guess I was wrong on that one.
That's the lotion that says feels like Joe Burrow.
Okay.
You can cut that part out.
Don't cut it out. Leave it. That is wonderful.
Okay, Logan, who do you have as yours?
Off the top of my dome, I'm going to say it's going to be Tiger. Is that cheating or?
I mean, it's your answers.
3 athletes. Dream foursome, basically, with athletes.
Yeah, I mean, that was a pretty good. I mean, you're into golfing, so it kind of works out. I'm
going to go with the guy that you wouldn't expect me to go with, because he's into golf, and I've seen like a bunch of videos of him golfing and stuff. It looks like a good time. I want to say Josh Allen.
Yeah. I mean, it's not bad.
And since we're going to athletes, John Stewart.
The running back that you guys had one time.
He recently like started golfing in the last year, and like he's got his own golf page on Instagram, and he's all about loves it.
Okay, yeah.
And put me in a cart with that, man. I would love to hear some of his stories.
So it kind of gets you on the golf side of things, but also on the Panthers side of things. So, bad at all. Man, see, here's the thing with me. I'm terrible at golfing. And
right, me
same.
too.
Yeah, but there's like a different level of bad I feel like that I am compared to you all. So, this is could be a long day or a long half of a day. So I want to hear some good conversation. I'm also a fan of my team, so I want Kittle in there.
T golfer?
One that I think not necessarily that I'm like I don't mind him. I'm not saying I'm like a huge fan of him, but he is definitely he can throw out some crazy things. So I think Kittle would like feed off of it, and that's Aaron Rodgers. I'd want him there just to kind of.
That's who you should have got to go with Ryan Clark.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. You probably wouldn't have made it past the first hole. Yeah, so I'd have them two there, and I think my third, just because as much as I don't like Colorado, I do like Deion Sanders. I think that would be a cool one to have, and I think I would ride in the car with Deion, just because. Well,
are you driving or is Deion driving?
Oh, I'm not sure. No, I might. I don't know, but I don't. I feel pretty uncomfortable driving with either any of those guys. But I think I'd probably pick Deion. But
I love Deion. I wonder if I could have a laid back, chill time with Deion though.
I don't think so.
Or if he's gonna be giving me.
I think he's just
life advice
on 10.
Right, I don't think you can slow him down or chill with him. It's
for me,
he's gonna be 100%.
I like to see that element like that thrown in with Kittle and Rodgers, especially because I'm sure that Kittle would feed into some of the crazy questions that Rodgers would have and be like, really, what about this? And Deion just be over there just shaking his head.
I was gonna say, I wonder what Deion thinks of Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
World stance.
I'd like to see that kind of how all that works out.
I'm gonna replace. Actually, I changed my mind.
Wow, that was quick.
I know. I went with. I was gonna go with no decent golfers, but I'm actually gonna take away Ryan Clark and put in John Daly because I think John Daly would just be the coolest guy in the world to hang out with. And maybe you'll learn something about golf.
One second,
you could just hang out with J-Mar because they're basically the same person. If you ask Rocky Hill.
I do love J-Mar, so.
I mean, you golf with J-Mar before.
Yeah.
I'd do it again. Seems like a wasted pig.
I'd do it again.
Some of the things, I want to kind of touch on or bring up, we were talking about it in the group chat. I was kind of going back through.
Yeah, let's just do that. Let's save those. Let's save those for when we got the full group.
Okay.
I think we could really get some people going with some of those topics.
Okay, we can do that. Well, what what about? So I kind of hate to talk about NFL right now because it's kind of a depressing time for all three of us. Well, not for you, Logan. That's the odd thing. It's your team is yeah, you all have what, 3 wins right now? 3, 4? 3 wins, and you're the happiest of all three of us right now.
I can tell you that our 2% playoff chance, it feels like more than 2%, and that's really gonna let me down.
I mean,
I can feel the pain coming.
Yeah.
I had accepted that we weren't going to make the playoffs, and then things started aligning. I said earlier, I do owe an apology to Justin Herbert. I said earlier that he was so overrated, I think was my quote. And he made 2 incredible plays to keep our playoff hopes alive earlier. The Chargers came back. They're looking really good. So
I really like Herbert. I wanted he went 1 pick before us in 2020. Maybe.
What a franchise changer.
I think it was.
We did get Derek Brown that year, but there's a big difference between Derek Brown and
franchise quarterback.
Yeah, franchise quarterback.
I was trying to think of some of the quarterbacks in that class, but I'm sure with your all's owner, you wouldn't have went with Herbert anyway.
I have nothing to say about that, man. Nothing nice to say, anyways. It's all good vibes over here for us. We don't need to talk about him.
He's done a lot for the city of Charlotte.
Yeah,
he brought us concerts. Yeah. Nobody in Charlotte had ever heard music before until he bought the team. It's the craziest thing ever.
And a soccer team too, right?
Yeah.
But I will.
America's sport.
Yeah. I will say I agree with Thomas.
Everybody loves soccer.
We didn't have much of a chance last week. I think it was a 11% chance maybe. But it felt like a lot more. And that even now we have a 0.1% or 0.01% or something like that. We would have to win out. The Rams would have to lose, I think, 2 games. I can't remember how it was, but pretty much it got to the end, and then I think there's the Rams and somebody would have to tie for us to make it. Like, so there's really like,
That's not good.
yeah, there's no hope.
If you're hoping for a tie, it's
Nas, yeah.
Which it looks like the Chargers are going to win this game, and then if we win our game against the Browns against what's his name, Dorian Thompson or whatever, which I feel pretty decent about. Should have said that.
Yeah,
but
Winston ain't playing, is he?
I think if we win, if Chargers win this game against the Broncos, then we beat the Browns. I think our playoff chances go up like 30%.
Well, that would be big.
Like still low, but it's like a big, or maybe 20% swing or something. Because then we play the Broncos the next week, and if we beat the Broncos, and all we would need at that point is for the, I think for the Colts to lose to somebody, and then the Broncos to lose to the Chiefs to last week. So what I need to happen in an ideal world, getting on a tangent here.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well,
The
it's all
Chiefs-
filler anyways.
The Chiefs need to sit Mahomes this week because of his ankle, lose that game. Then the Chiefs start to worry about the Bills taking that number 1 seed in the home field advantage for the playoffs. That way, the Chiefs have to play everybody the last week of the season against the Broncos because they need to win that game. So then the Broncos lose this game, they lose to the Bengals the next week, and then they lose to the Chiefs the last week, and the Bengals are in.
You know, there's
If the Colts can drop a game to, they're playing like the 3 worst teams of all time as their
Mhm.
last 3 games. But
Yeah, but those are the Colts.
Maybe,
yeah.
They're going
right,
to
they're
drop
the
one.
Colts. They literally, their season ended when they dropped the ball on an easy touchdown on the inch-yard line. So
Sorry, Jamar, if you're listening.
Yeah. well, I mean, it sounds like, I know you don't want to get your hopes up, but it sounds like you're getting your hopes up. Like I feel like you
yeah,
really
yeah, I know.
definitely like thought this out. Like you definitely.
And I've
know,
told
yeah.
I've told everybody that I've already accepted our fate that we're not in the playoffs. But
Sure
Here
seems
I
like
am.
it.
Yeah, I mean, it's,
yeah,
but I think the thing, and same way with us, like even though we're not going to make it, but the feeling of like if you get in, you feel like you can run the table. That's how I felt.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
I thought we could. I thought we had the roster if healthy.
Well, when the Bengals went to the Super Bowl a couple years ago, they weren't just supposed to be there.
No,
No.
but y'all did.
I mean, no,
Sorry, go ahead.
I mean, I don't feel like I'm out of place saying that. I think it was a big Cinderella run that
it
y'all
was.
had.
Yeah.
I was thinking that
It was.
y'all.
We're so much better now, except our defense.
What seed was y'all that year? I know that that's the year that we went to the game, and I remember that like you all did start like super hot.
We started slow.
I thought you started hot.
Oh no, I think we started like 0-3 and then caught fire.
Maybe so. So
after
I remember
that.
like when
I could be wrong.
I remember when we bought the tickets, it was like early on, like they wasn't that bad. And then as it like continued, it was like, okay, that's like the premier matchup that week. And I remember the hotels and everything, like everything was like going up at that point.
It got pushed later. Yeah, it got pushed later too, didn't it?
I think so. Or did it get
I think
pushed
it
later?
was supposed to be the 1:00 game.
It might have been. Yeah, I think
could
it
be wrong.
was.
I don't know.
It's been
A long time ago.
Yeah, it does feel like a long time ago. Well, I don't want to like, I guess, go into like some of the crazy questions if y'all want to like save them. But I guess we can go ahead and I'll ask one of Jamar's just to kind of keep it going because I don't know like as far as John getting back on or not. But Jamar had the other question that we asked the players, and that was favorite Christmas gift that you ever had. And I think we talked about it. You kind of said maybe we can do even the least favorite, or we can wait and save that one for whenever we have everybody. But it
Probably won't fit by then.
yeah, may not, but at least favorite for sure. And it could be most memorable, whatever. But Christmas gift. What do you got, Thomas? I'll start with you.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like if my parents were watching this, they're going to be mad. Like, don't you remember that crazy nice thing that we got you?
Yeah.
Like a
Yeah.
car or a phone
Yeah.
or a roof over your head? Like, I don't know. For some
Water.
reason, when you first asked me that question, the first thing that came to mind was a TJ Hushmanzada jersey that I got as a kid.
R.I.P.
I know that's a
He
yeah.
on
So
okay.
that's way back. I don't
That's
think
Chris
so.
Henry I'm thinking of.
Right, Chris Henry died.
Yeah, my bad.
I was like, this is news to me.
Hopefully, still. I mean, rest in peace, regardless.
Yeah. Yeah, I hope you sleep well tonight.
Yeah,
is
that's
what
what
you're
I meant.
saying.
Right.
But yeah, for some reason that was the first one that came to mind. Miriam got me tickets to a Carolina game a few years ago, and it was senior night. That was pretty cool. It I'm trying to remember if that was Roy's last year, or I think it was the next year. It may have been Roy's last year, but yeah, that was pretty cool. Actually, no, I think that was Roy's last year because we stayed after the game and everything, and like all the players were just like sitting around in a circle, and Roy was giving the speech and bringing up the seniors and talking about them. It was pretty awesome. It was a really
awesome.
cool experience. Yeah.
Yeah, it's neat.
So yeah, I'll say those two.
We got Logan.
Like you said, whenever you threw that out there, I can't. Y'all know I don't remember anything. I don't remember what I got for Christmas last year, let alone like in my whole life. Izzy's probably got me Panthers tickets for Christmas before. I know after Thomas said the TJ Houda-Manjana jersey, that reminded me of what I thought was the greatest gift I'd ever been given.
I know what you're gonna say.
At the time. The infamous signed Jimmy Clausen jersey. I thought that was the sickest thing ever. I hung it on my wall. And then he proceeded to lead one of the worst offenses the NFL's ever seen. And then I don't know. Carolina tickets for me too. We went and watched them play Florida State in 2018. Whenever Florida State had that, I think they had Isaac and they had that big dude that looked like a refrigerator.
Oh, yeah, forgot about it.
They were pretty good that year. We had Theo. We saw Theo throw one down on a fast break. It was really cool. That would probably be up there too.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. I was sitting here while you are giving your answers, like trying to think of it. I was like, okay, I hope they have some long answers. Yeah, I can really kind of put it together. One of them for sure, I got from my in-laws a few years ago, and it was like I had the certificate and everything. It was a Jerry Rice signed jersey, and I still have it up there, just kind of away from everything in the closet. I've been meaning to like make or get somebody to like do like a case to put on the wall. For the man cave that I never did get. So that's
You got time.
Yeah, that's probably up there.
Jimmy Clausen, Jerry Rice.
I was gonna wait till he was done, but I was gonna say, is that Jerry Rice jersey really cooler than mine? Like, did you really try to one up me with Jerry Rice?
Claus was a
nice trout loser.
We don't like Notre Dame play or moments and stuff. He was their quarterback, right? Yeah, I remember that.
Was that was right after Brady Quinn, right?
Yeah, I think he was the very next quarterback.
I think he came next after Brady.
Yeah. Which, it's a good conversation starter. It's like everybody sees a Jerry Rice jersey and they're like, "Oh, there's a Jerry Rice jersey," but they see a Clausen jersey and they're like, "Who's that?" and then you gotta talk to him, explain tell them the story.
I wish I still had it. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, the thing,
wish I still had it.
Oh, you don't have it. Well, I was gonna say,
nah. Like I trashed a long time ago.
I was going to say that is like, if you have that on your wall, there, like that's for sure, like showing that you're a hardcore Panthers
I would
fan.
love to have it. I'd hang it in the den.
Yeah, I mean, they walk in and see that, they're like, okay, this guy
really,
he knows the pain. Like he's been through some of the rough times. So
it's really, really pissed Izzy off.
Yeah. That does remind me. I had a Marvin Lewis autograph picture hanging on my wall for a while, and then around, I can't remember what year it is, those last few years, I was like, all right, I'm taking this down. The last few years that he was our coach, I was like, all right, he needs to go.
Oh yeah,
I don't know what I did with it.
Yeah.
I don't know if I threw it away. I don't think I would have thrown it away, but actually, no, that was a great Christmas gift I got. So so my family on my mom's side, they did like you drew your name out of a hat or whatever. So one of the my cousin's husband's at the time, he was a Bengals season ticket holder.
Nice.
And so, yeah, because they lived in near Cincinnati. And so he was like, I'm not drawing, like, just give me Thomas. Like, I want Thomas's name. And so, they were like, all right, fine. Until they gave him me. And then he just like gave me his, not the season tickets, obviously, but like usually the season tickets come with like shirts. And that's where I got this from, this little do-rag thing, bandana, hoodie, and like 2 shirts and that autographed Marvin Lewis picture. So that was a pretty cool gift. That was I did like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot better than. I mean, I like mine, but I don't have like a cool story to. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Like even like when I was a kid, like some things. Y'all remember the?
Not that cool.
Go ahead.
Not that cool of a story. They divorced. So
oh, flip.
That sucks.
Sorry, but
Man.
anyway,
True love existed and it just don't. I mean, if they can't make it, who can really?
Do you guys remember the like the rip sticks, like the the skateboard things?
You know what? The Heelys.
Oh yeah, that too.
Those were so sick. We got in so much trouble for those in middle
I
school.
don't even know. I think by the time I got one, like everybody had already got it taken away. I feel like, or they kind of like went out. But I do remember. Like I remember the rip sticks. Like T-Lo, if he was on here, every one day.
I tried to get him to. He's like, man, I can't get on there.
Yeah, I mean, you ain't gonna sound any worse than me. I'm just like used to it by now. But yeah, those were just great. Like I love those things, and it doesn't. It's the most satisfying thing, to get on and actually succeed in making it move. Because like you're writing in cursive with your leg while you're moving the boards. But but when you watch, you're like, there's no way I can do that. But that was pretty fun. And then I don't know if you guys remember these. I don't even know if I got them for Christmas or not. But the moon shoes, which was just like you had your platform for your feet, and you just had these like huge like rubber bands that were tied to this like rectangle thing. But it was supposed to make you feel like you're jumping on the moon. We would take the rubber bands
I never
off.
had those.
They were fun, but we would take the rubber bands off and kind of shoot them at each other.
That seems fun, too.
It was a solid time, I thought. But other than that, I don't remember anything else. I mean, I guess you could always say anytime you got like a new system or like a new like iPhone or iPod or whatever. But I remember I got I remember one year.
Tom can't relate to that.
Yeah, I remember one year I had intentions, or I hoped I was gonna get a iPod. I can't remember which one it was, but I think it was like the first year they had like the big screen. It wasn't the iPhone; it was just the iPod. And I got a Zune. Ever hear of a Zune before? You have?
Yeah.
I've heard of a Zune.
Yeah, it was kind of like a musical device, like the MP3 player.
It's just a different MP3 player. Right?
Yeah. I don't.
They were pretty cool though.
Yeah, they were fine.
Yeah,
I mean, absolutely.
It was nice. Like aesthetically,
But if you're expecting
really cool, it felt like it had like a smoother, I guess, surface. The only thing I remember about it is it had a bunch of songs like pre-saved on there, like music videos. Well, life of me, I can't remember. Like there's one of them that was just weird, but put that on the side. The first time I heard and got to watch the music video for "The Kill" by 30 Seconds to Mars, and that was a great song, and I replayed it on there like hundreds of times, so I didn't really know how to download anything else. But I mean, I'd love to still find
You said that, and that just like brought back a core memory of mine. Like I feel like most of the music videos of that era were watched on like my iPod. I have no idea why.
Yeah.
Like I had dial-up internet. I was downloading this crap on, but like somehow or other, that's how I watch my music videos.
Yeah, that reminds me. I think I don't know if I got it for Christmas or What with the PSP back in the
Oh,
day?
yeah.
I think those were way ahead of their time.
Those things were so ahead of their time.
They were awesome. I think if they came out later, they would have been more popular, like the Switches or something.
Loved mine. Played it every single day.
I know I did. I played the crap out of mine. I got a little skin for it. I had flames on it, of course.
I never got any of that.
I know. I need to find
Damn,
it. Yeah,
Daddy.
I played NFL Street 2 or whatever, like for probably hundreds of hours. But those also had
those games were amazing too.
Yeah, but the PSP also came with like downloaded music videos on there, like "Cold" by Crossfade. I don't know if you remember that one. Yeah, that was on there. I can't remember the other one. That one stands out to me though.
What
was those are cool because you could get on the internet and everything on those things. Those things were awesome. They were way ahead of their time.
It was like a keyboard too. Like I know it was like a little analog stick, but like the way it would move was like pretty quick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That's one of the last.
What was the basketball game that we played on those? What was the big basketball game at the time? It wasn't 2K.
No, it was that.
I played NBA Live 06 on
Okay, so it was Live 06.
NBA Live is what I played. 06. It had Dwayne Wade on the cover.
No, I was thinking there was a game like right through there that was like NBA Live or something. Remember that? It was like it wasn't like 2K. It wasn't.
You probably watched that on
live.
your Tom Lagace MP3 player.
It may be, but I think it had like a story or something to it. I was thinking.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, you're right.
I can't remember.
On PlayStation, so I didn't play it on PSP, but on like PlayStation 2, I had NBA Ballers that I put a lot of hours into.
Ballers.
Those games
those were amazing. Games were just better back then.
I know.
How much was that?
Those and all the Need for Speeds and everything.
Ballers might be. It kind of seems like the rougher version of games like Ballers and NFL Street. Or better than like the actual Blitz too, or better than like the actual games, like the professional games. Because NFL Street might be one of my favorite games ever.
Oh yeah, definitely. They tried to bring that back in some ways, like in the Madden games. Forgot what the game mode's called, but it's not like near as fun at all. Trying to look through here and see if I can find the name of that game. Thomas, just a curiosity, that's probably the last game system I feel like you bought. Because I know you don't really, you know what I mean? You don't really play them that much.
Yeah, the PS2 is, that's like the last one that I played. I think I did have a PS3 that I played for a little bit, but then I ended up going back to the PS2. And that was the last one that I played. The PS2, that was like the greatest system ever invented. It was like, at the time.
Yeah, it was.
I went, how did you, well, Thomas, you can't really join in this conversation because you quit at PS3, but what did your progression go through, Cameron? How did you start with consoles and then move through them? I know what you are now, but I'm assuming you started out on PlayStation 2.
Well, I mean, I started out in like Super Mario.
I mean, like PlayStation as far also, as just like, like before that,
Okay, yeah. I mean, I remember playing like the first, if you're just talking about consoles, I remember playing the first PlayStation, and I remember playing the what was it? The first Grand Theft Auto. I think it was the first one, and all you seen was like little like pixelated like characters like getting in a car and stuff.
It's nothing.
Yeah, that's that's like my first or like my oldest memory, I guess, of like a PlayStation game. I think. So mostly, I mostly played on Nintendo stuff like when I was younger. As far as like my early years of playing, because I think Nintendo 64 is probably superior to like the first PlayStation. Now, like PlayStation 2, we always had the PS2 and the Xbox both there because I had the Xbox and we had both, but my older brother, he had the PlayStation, so I guess we kind of played both of them. Just trying to think, and somewhere in between there, I had like a Dreamcast. I don't know if y'all played that before, like the Sega Dreamcast. Yeah, it's pretty awesome. And just trying to think, and then there is the GameCube, which is also Nintendo.
epic.
Yes, the GameCube is close.
The snowboarding game on GameCube.
Oh yeah,
NSX
Mhm.
Tricky or whatever it was
Oh,
called.
man,
Amazing game. Amazing game.
Is it? Yeah. All right, finish. Yeah, finish what you were saying, and then I got a
no,
question.
I was just gonna say, like, then of course you got into like some of the newer systems, like I'm sure everybody. I mean, you got the 360 and the PS3, and
Did
on
you
through there.
did you stay with one or the other, or did you like go back and forth?
I mean, I ultimately went to Xbox, and I stayed at Xbox. Now we had a PlayStation in the house, like I said, because Jordan had a PlayStation. But for me, like once I started, like one putting in like time into my profile or whatever,
Mhm.
and then two, I used to buy movies. Like we didn't have like streaming and stuff like it was. It's like an old person, but
I remember you had a hell of a movie
oh yeah,
collection.
I'm
on
sure
your
I still
Xbox
have like
360.
20 movies on there. So the money I spent on there is like it's probably not really a whole lot now thinking about it, but it was still too much for me to switch. And it's like preference wise, like we know that iPhones are better than non-iPhones, but we know that your preference is that you like the other stuff,
Well,
right? So,
He said, "I like my
mean,
green bubbles." He
If you
likes his
don't
green
care about
bubbles. Leave him
battery
alone.
life and storage and all the other stuff,
yeah, I mean,
He likes the green better than blue. Leave him alone.
yeah.
Thomas.
Sorry,
Oh, shit.
sorry, I had to take that shot, but no, definitely.
No, I was the same way.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
well, my question
Go ahead.
was going to be, okay, go for it.
Well, I'm not.
Before you lose it
Go
again.
ahead, Cam.
Well,
Go
I
ahead.
was just
Go
going to
ahead, girl. Go
say
ahead, get
the
down.
first time that you played online, which I don't know if you got a chance to play online, Thomas, but I remember the first time I played online. I remember I was Penn State playing college football, playing against like somebody using using Rutgers, and I used to think like, man, this is crazy. Like I am playing online against somebody else. There was like my brain was just trying to wrap my head around this, and I felt like I felt like a coach. I was like, okay, this is go time. Like I'm out there now. Like we're going. But
Yeah.
that was before everybody got very good at like all the games and online play.
That was a bummer.
Yeah.
Well,
First
the
time
nerds
I played
ruined it.
online.
Yeah, exactly.
First time for me, I think, was probably Halo. I have no idea what number at Shannon's house. Because, like I said, we grew up with dial-up internet
Mhm.
in the middle of nowhere, and Shannon lived on the 4 lane, so he got cool internet before everybody else did. And, I mean, it was like some of the things that you hear in those lobbies was...
Oh. Yeah, back
Yeah.
then it didn't like it was just no horse. Like it was just anything goes.
No, it's just the Wild Wild West.
Yeah. The question I was going to ask you is like, when you think of your childhood and like playing video games, what are like the 5, I mean, I guess we don't have to put a number on it, but like 5 video games
I think
that
5's a good number.
stand out to you, or like you spent way too much time on?
You want me to go first? Or you gonna go?
I think well, go ahead if you feel
I'll
confident.
go.
You go ahead.
I'll go. SSS Tricky, I played a lot.
That's so sick.
Oh God, I love that game so much. All the characters, man. This is gonna sound like really feminine, but I just love
that girl, yeah.
like dressing up players, creating players, dressing, like choosing their outfits and stuff. It was like NFL Street when you could like create a player, put them in street clothes, like whatever you wanted. Yes, like SSX Tricky, NFL Street, NBA Ballers. I played Madden 05. For some reason, I played Madden 05 for like 6 years.
Ever, yeah.
Yeah, and then every NBA 2K game that came out, I couldn't even choose one. I played all of them for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 2K8. I think that had Kobe on the cover. I think I probably played that one the most. Yeah. Those are the ones that stand out. Well, also, dang, I got to throw in Need for Speed.
Yeah.
Either Underground 2,
Yeah.
either Underground 2. I played them all way too much. Underground 2 and Most Wanted the most, probably. But yeah, so 6 for me.
SX Tricky was probably like what got me started. 'Cause I remember playing it at my great aunt and uncle's house because Amanda, my cousin, her brother had a GameCube that he like left there or something. I don't know. I was like, I have no idea how old I was, but had no idea how I got there or whatever. And then I ended up getting a GameCube because I loved it so much. So that was probably like the one that got me started on it. Need for Speed. I know it was Underground. I don't remember most one. It might have been the one I'm thinking of, but I don't think it was. But both the Need for Speed games, the Tony Hawk games, amazing. 2K5, NFL 2K5, great game. NBA Live, what was it? 06, the one with like you could do like cartwheels in the dunk contest, and like it was just so ridiculous.
Yeah.
Um,
We were talking earlier about the life. It was 06. I don't know if that's the one.
Was it 06?
I sent it in the group chat actually, like the cover. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's 06.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I don't know if that's the one that has the dunk contest like you're talking about or not on it, but
that's the
then
one I played
a little
on
bit
PSP the
older.
most.
yeah.
Yeah, okay. Then when I got a little bit older, it was probably Love Red Dead Redemption.
Mhm.
And what's the other one? Oh, Modern Warfare 3. Got stupid good at Modern Warfare 3. Not Dalton Ellswick good. Shout out to Dalton Ellswick.
Yeah.
Congrats on the marriage.
Yeah.
But still got pretty good at Modern Warfare 3.
Dalton was the guy, and also, yeah, like I said, shout out Dalton. Dalton was the guy that, like, when you had somebody like run their mouth online and they're like, talking trash to you, and you're obviously
1v1 me, bro.
yeah, he was like,
And you just put Dalton on give Dalton the controller.
It'd be like, or just invite him in like the group, and yeah, he definitely excelled in that role. And I can remember several times playing games with Dalton to where he would be like killing so much of the enemy that he was just like holding up the whole team. He's like, listen, if you can just get like maybe like what's that, 15-20%, like you do something, we'll be fine. And that's how it was most of the time. But you're talking about 5. I don't think I could keep it in 5 either. I think I'm just gonna kind of go from like the beginning.
He said 5, and I was like, that's great. And then I think I named off like 8
yeah,
or
that's what I
9.
was sitting there thinking. Like, I thought it might be hard, but then now as I think about it, you kind of want to like, I don't want to tell like every game, but definitely ones that stick out. Like the very first memory I have, like I guess playing anything was like I said, Super Mario. I mentioned that before, and it was more of the. I do remember the Super Mario. I should say Super Nintendo. But I remember the duck hunting game. I don't know if y'all ever played that, but
yeah.
you had the gun. You had to try to shoot the ducks.
Yeah.
I had that.
Never played it.
That's fun game. If they are still out there somewhere, maybe we need to get it. But
I saw the other day you can buy
it's like a projector.
some kind of
I've seen
something,
that.
yeah.
It's that,
and you can play like all those old games.
it's on an XS7, yeah. And it goes up on your wall, like kind of just like projects it or whatever. But that was like my first like earliest memory maybe. But then it goes like to Nintendo 64 with Mario. I think it's the one where you can like run around and like jump through the picture frames and all that. I think it's like Mario 64 or something. That and the Pokemon Stadium 2 game. Not that I like Pokemon. I liked watching the show when I was younger. Heck, if it's still on and when my boys are watching, I definitely still watch it. I like the cartoon.
They still make it?
No, I'm just talking about reruns. I mean, they got
I thought you said
they got like so many different
got you,
new versions now. I don't know. I'm talking about the OG stuff.
OG.
Yeah, I like
got
that
you.
stuff. And but I never did really collect the cards. But when I say this, that game, dude, we still play it. Like I still have a Nintendo 64, and like Zach came up, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and like we played it all day, and it has just like this little simple thing which Braxton likes, like you get to battle, but you have these things like these little mini games that you can do, and it's some of the simplest stuff, but it's extremely addicting. Maybe it's just because there's a lot of nostalgia there too. That was like as far as my Nintendo thing or phase or whatever. But you get into like Xbox, and the ones that like stick out to me that I played a lot was I think it was college football 9, I think, with McFadden on it. I had a ridiculous amount of hours on that. And I think the one with Tim Tebow on the cover, that one, we all started doing like some like tournaments and stuff, in person. And so those are always like very close to me. And which I did like the one too that had, I think it was Bush, maybe like the first year that you could do the My Player type thing. And you had to like take tests and stuff like that to stay enrolled.
Dang, yeah.
Yeah.
Dang, you're bringing back so many memories. I forgot about like
that was awesome.
There's NCAA basketball 2K8. I forgot how much I played that when you brought up, because you had to like go in like recruit players and stuff like to build your and then move up as a coach. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And to just echo what Logan said,
another one.
The NFL 2K, I think was it 6?
2K5,
yeah, 2K5.
T.O. was on the cover.
Yeah, with T.O. on the cover. I think it might be the last game they done before EA kind of bought the rights. Was amazing. Like that game,
best football game ever.
Yes. The presentation, dude, like, that's still a game. Like even today, like if you played, I think you'd have fun. You had your own crib for one. Like you had like your own place. You go upstairs. It's your trophy case of every trophy you won, whether it be like an individual like thing or a Super Bowl. It's all in there, and so it's kind of like trying to build to like achieve these things. Like it was some kind of reward system. It was pretty satisfying. Although there was a cheat code, if I'm not mistaken. Logan can probably let me know when he gets back. I think you could actually put a cheat code in and unlock all that. But I can't remember for sure if it's the trophies. But still,
I think so.
You take like a right when you go in your crib, if I remember, and you go to like your arcade room. You can go in there and play paper football. You go over to this little like whatever game system thing, and you can play you can play a NFL game against like Steve-O, and I don't know who and all the rest of them were. Half of them may be like in some sort of scandal by now or got in trouble with something.
Most people are.
Yeah, it was insane. Then there was a cool mode too where you was in the helmet, like you was like a player. You could see through the helmet and stuff and play. And even the game itself, like or even like during a season, you'd have like your pregame shows, like you get to see like the fans out in the parking lot, like flipping burgers. You could hit a button every week to where it would show you like Sports Center and highlight everything.
Favorite video game ever, John?
Yeah, we're going through all of our like kind of history with games. I'm on what we were talking about 2K. You said 5, right? 2K5 with T.O. in the cover, and
NFL.
Yeah, we were talking about just the crazy things like like you have like your own crib, and you like I said had Sports Center throughout the week. I'll just tell you this real quick, and I'll get to John so he can kind of do all of his. I just want to say going into the next gen stuff, which is more recent stuff, was definitely Oblivion. I played all the time, and I remember playing 2K with you all, or me and you in particular.
I was getting ready to say, me and you used to dominate the park whenever, like, I think it was the first time they put the park in.
Well,
you, for some reason, you decided to make like a 7'3" center, which is hilarious because you're 5'4".
Yeah, that was a funny thing. And I don't think you can even like now. Which you had to pay so much money now to even have your player be like somewhat decent. But I think it's different now. It's not as fun to, I think, do the whole 7'3"
But
thing.
we would dominate that. Like, we all night long, 2v2.
That was
pick and roll.
Yeah, that was mine. John, kind of what we did was we kind of started from like our earliest memory, like maybe like your favorite game. And just kind of built
games
through.
that summed up your childhood. Yeah.
Let's see here. Obviously, a lot of Madden, a lot of 2K, NCAA. Other non-sports stuff would be like Red Dead Redemption. I played a lot. The first one. Oblivion, Fallout 3. I played a lot.
I never could get into Fallout.
What about the early days? Did you play any like SSX Tricky or Need
like
for Speed?
PS2, yeah, Need for Speed. PS2, I played Star Wars Battlefront a lot with my brother. That was pretty fun. Those Sly Cooper games with the raccoon,
Oh,
those
yeah.
were fun.
That's what those were called. I was sitting here trying to rack my brain what those were. Those are
Yeah.
amazing.
And now I play every once in a while. Gabby and I will play Minecraft together. She likes doing that. So,
Yeah, Minecraft's a solid one.
Call of Duty, Battlefield,
Yeah.
played those two a lot.
Battlefield was really good. We took a Battlefield stretch that because Call of Duty decided they just wanted to be bad for 2 years in a row, so we all started playing Battlefield.
I loved Battlefield 1 and World War 1. That's probably the first-person shooter I was best at.
John, do you remember, we were talking about it earlier, talking about the PSP and stuff. Do you remember NBA 06, The Live?
Yeah, I
Oh.
remember
I've never heard of
Logan
that.
played it a lot.
I sent it in the
Mhm.
group chat, Thomas. You had like
Yeah, let me see. I want
to say I had like a full like story and everything to it that,
There was another NBA game too that I remember. Like Stephon Marbury was very prominent on that game.
was it
that's
05?
Ballers, I think.
Yeah,
Oh, the Baller,
Ballers.
yes,
Yeah,
Baller.
NBA Ballers. That was the one that I played the most. Yeah,
That was a
because
really
you
good
had
one,
a
too.
life on that too. You like
Mhm.
street clothes and like could buy a
Oh,
crib
yeah,
and
yeah.
stuff like that. Yeah,
Yeah, I think that's what I'm thinking
yeah.
of.
Because it started out with Marbury like dribbling with his knees and stuff. Like,
Mhm.
Yep.
Yep.
yeah,
We are so
Played a
old.
lot of
I
NBA
could do this for
Street
hours.
too.
NBA Street. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about
Mhm.
earlier. That's
Yeah, NFL Street, NBA Street.
NFL Street was great.
Yeah. The first game I can remember playing was actually, other than like some weird Elmo game where you swam underwater and collected letters of the alphabet.
Hold on. The Oregon Trail. Is that what you're gonna say?
Nah, I do remember some Oregon Trail when I was like 7 years old and had no idea what I was doing.
Freddy Fish.
I was thinking Freddie Fish. That's where I was going to go.
Yeah, with Peggy Cole and like first grade computer class.
You just get on the trail and you just instantly die because you don't know what's going on.
The first game I can remember playing was NBA Live 98. And like it had this really cool drum music whenever you would do the 3-point shootout on there.
Oh, yeah. I think I kind of remember that. Yeah.
I don't think I played that one.
I can't remember that. I want to talk about computer classes too for a second.
Same.
Two things I want to talk about. First, I don't know if any of you all were in the class with us when we did this, but I remember, I don't know if it was Miss Rigsby or who it was. It might have been Miss Cole, but whoever it was, playing Halo on the computers before they took them off. We would all got.
And we just re-downloaded it.
We went a different way, but we would somehow like connect everybody, and we'd be playing like on like Halo 1 or something. That was awesome.
Through the LAN.
Through the computer system there at the school. And then another memory. This one's I was sitting here cracking up a few seconds ago thinking about it. We were in computer class one time. John was in there, and I think he'll probably remember this, but he meant to print out I think like 60 60 brackets. He clicked 600.
And they all printed.
I thought Miss Rigsby was going to kill him. Like he went and hid under a desk.
I think I started handing them out to just random
You did.
people.
You
in
took
the
them
hallway.
everybody.
If
took
I
'em to
was
everybody in
ever
school and
going
you
to
had
have
300
a
left
perfect
over.
bracket, it was going to be that year.
Oh man.
You gave every kid in that school a bracket, and you still had 300 left over.
I could have given everybody at Richland a bracket.
This is insane. Yeah. Gosh, that great great memories there.
I might do that this year. There's a lot of paper in my classroom, and I don't use paper. So
Need to get rid of about 600
Yeah.
pages.
I need to tell your aunt-in-law, Thomas, that I'll need some extra ink cartridges. Come March.
All right. I'll put in a good word.
Don't ask why, Kelly.
whenever you was when you went in here, John, Jamar had asked us these questions, and I think you may have heard the first one, so I kind of get your answer on that.
The golf one.
Yeah, so your 3 athletes, past or present, that you'd want.
All right. So
This should be great. I'm expecting big things out of this.
I got 4, right? Or I get 3.
You're one
So I have
of the
3,
4.
right?
Yeah.
All right. So I'll go. It's gonna be hard. I'm gonna have to eliminate Dale Earnhardt. He was gonna be on there, but he's eliminated. So sorry. I'll go with Larry Bird. Larry Bird, I think, would be very fun.
It would be very fun.
Yeah.
I disagree.
I think I've spoke of this on the podcast or in my classroom one, which are basically the same thing. Manu Ginobili, because I had a dream one time that I was in this beach house with all these European NBA players. And that was just a great time. As like 17-year-old me with Manu, Dirk, Jokic wasn't
A
around
bat.
yet, but
He would
A
have been
bat
young
flew
Luka.
by and Manu smacked it out of the air.
and then for my third one, I'm gonna keep this one local. And I'm gonna show some school spirit here. And I'm gonna go with our own Cooper Hurst,
Mm.
who had 6 steals tonight and 5 assists to go with his
Clap it up for Coop.
Nice Coop.
0 point that he's had for 4 games in a row. But he knows his role.
Yes.
The Gary
Gotta have a
Payton
role player.
Award goes to Cooper Hurst.
Yep.
Yes.
Gotta have a role player.
And we don't have the lunch, the bucket, whatever more called that.
The lunch
pail.
pail.
The
Lunch
lunch pail. We
pail,
don't have that anymore. We got a chain.
What are you guys even
now.
doing?
We got a chain. Just a
They're not going to work.
not like a Deion Sanders chain, but like it's snow and then I gotta get up the mountain chain. And
Oh no.
Cooper scored 3 points on the year, but he's won the chain twice because of his defense.
Role
There
play.
you go.
Moore loves a good defender.
Heck yeah.
Keep it up.
He does.
Heck
He
yeah.
does. Carter Burniston played under Coach Moore, so
He also
Jory.
invited me to go golfing with him like 2 days ago, so this is pretty top.
Okay.
But that
He's
would be
very
my third.
quiet when he golfs.
Yeah.
He's not his
Larry
normal,
Bird,
like,
Manu, Cooper Hurst, honorable mention, the late great Dale Earnhardt.
That's a heck of a.
that's a wonderful list. Wonderful list.
Just so you know, John, before we go on, Thomas had Chad Johnson, Joe Burrow. He had Ryan Clark, but he got kicked off. Who's your other
Mike
one?
Aaron
Changed
Rodgers
it.
showed up.
John Daly.
Yeah, John Daly. Yeah,
That's a good
and
one.
then Logan had Stewart, Jonathan Stewart, Tiger Woods, and who's the other one?
Well, Josh
Oh
Allen.
yeah, Josh Allen. Yeah, that was the one I couldn't remember because it was kind of outside the box.
Random.
Yeah, I had Kittle, Aaron Rodgers, and Deion Sanders. So, yeah, so all of them were.
Tell you 3 guys I wouldn't want to go golfing with. Gilbert Arenas.
Classical Burrs and Jamar.
Actually, let's take off Gilbert. I'll go Plaxico, Aaron Hernandez, and OJ.
Do not cut that camera. I'll kill you if you cut that.
I'll leave it. Oh, so
Can you say that again, John? I'm sorry.
OJ, Plaxico Burris, still late, but not so great. Aaron Hernandez.
yeah. The other question we covered while you was gone was your favorite Christmas gift you ever had, and it could have been something that you just liked, or it could be something memorable. Mine was like the old Rip Sticks. I brought that up, and I brought we had the Zune musical device. I had that. I had that one year. I'm trying to think what everybody had. Tom, you tell them what you had real quick, so that way you kind of gets an idea.
Yeah, I talked about the first thing that came to mind was the TJ Hushmanzada jersey. Also, some good Carolina tickets to senior night, Roy's last year. I think those were my big ones.
I basically said the same thing Thomas said, other than my cool jersey was a Jimmy Clausen jersey, and it's really not that cool.
Autographed.
It was signed,
Autographed.
though. Yeah, it was
I
signed.
know. I remember seeing it on your wall.
It was on my
Yeah,
wall.
I did too.
That was my prized possession for like 3 months.
It would probably, I know it no longer exists, right?
No, it's gone.
Well, if it makes you feel better, it'd probably be worth about $5. So.
I would say the frame that it was in would be worth more than the jersey itself.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a big frame.
Would love to have it back, though. I would hang it up.
It would be a great.
Just so every day I could see it and just be like, wow, I'm living a great life right now.
Look how far
Yeah,
we've
I
come.
was going to say. Yeah, look how
Started
we're
from
at.
the bottom, now we're here.
Yeah. Now you're happy about being
Just
3-11 or whatever.
Just above the bottom.
So what do you have, John? Some of your favorite ones.
Trying to think on my childhood here. When I was like 6, I got a Game Boy Advance. That was pretty cool.
Oh, that's another good one. We didn't talk about
I
those.
thought about bringing those up earlier. The Game Boy Advance. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I played a lot of the Game Boy. Whatever the game was with Donkey Kong, where like the barrels were coming down the place, you had to climb the ladder and jump over the barrels. Yeah.
More recently though, I'll kind of echo what y'all have said. Probably when Tony got me tickets to watch the Thunder, with Durant and Westbrook and Serge Ibaka, I think, against the Charlotte Hornets. First time I went down there. That was a Christmas gift.
I'm glad they didn't get you a PS5 for Christmas.
I got a PS5 for my birthday, so that don't count.
Did you see the thing, John, about the Hornets giving that kid the PS5?
No.
So they
Okay, well that's why I did land this.
apparently
I was
they
gonna say like that was pretty funny.
apparently they had him come out at halftime and like had Santa or whatever out there, and they asked him like what he wanted, and he said a PS5, which I mean they had on hand, I guess, and they gave it to him, and then after it ended, they took it back.
Took it back.
Yeah.
And gave him a jersey.
Yeah, but they, I guess they apologized, and like now he's getting like meet all the players, and then
Because that's something you'd want to do.
Does he get a PS5?
No, I don't know, but maybe not.
Yeah, they're giving him a PS5 and letting him meet the players.
Yeah,
I
Meeting
just
the
tell him like,
players is free.
just let me get that PS5. I don't need to see those players.
I mean, how many Charlotte Hornets do you really want to meet?
2.
LaMelo Ball and Brandon Miller.
Yeah,
That's about
And
it.
I mean, the Brandon Miller, that's up for debate.
Speaking of people you
Might
don't want
not
to
walk
golf
out of
with,
that
Brandon
room.
Miller. Yeah,
yeah.
you don't want to golf with Brandon Miller,
Yeah.
probably.
No.
Man's a killer.
You was talking about old game systems. Do y'all remember the? 'Cause Braxton had one of these here a few weeks ago. Remember the things that I forgot what they were even called? That you would these little handheld games, and you would scan barcodes like on your soups or like whatever you wanted to find. Like you'd scan the barcode and it would like see if like you'd have like a monster like you found on the game. Did y'all have that? Really?
Uh,
No,
I'm gonna have to.
You're on the island on
Yeah, I'm
this
gonna
one.
have to see if I can find it and send you a picture of it. But I remember we used to just pull out every single like canned food out of the cabinets and like scanned all of them just to see if we'd get something. But yeah, sorry, John, you good?
The only food I've ever scanned for a game was one time you could buy Ruffles and you got like so many VC on 2K.
That's
Mm.
that's valuable stuff considering that's the only way you can play the game now. So yeah, that was
All we ate for 6 months at this house.
That was 2 weeks ago.
yeah. Yeah.
I'm a 98 overall.
Well, I was sitting there thinking, man, remember the where you also had the DS. You had that.
Burned up some DS.
Yeah, the DS was good. You ever?
I remember playing Nintendo.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm pretty sure there's a lot of dogs that are like starved to death by
Dead.
now.
Yeah.
They
they're
died.
gone.
Michael Vick.
Yeah, we're all big now.
Speaking of,
Yeah,
Hey,
Another good one
he's a
off
head
the golf
football
ball.
coach
Yeah.
now.
Hey, what was I gonna say? You were sitting there talking about yeah, you.
And I played Nintendo a lot.
Yeah, we already went through that.
No,
Cameron.
that
Burned up
Nintendo
some
DS.
DS.
that's what was getting me on it. Let's see, Chin Dogs, and then there was oh man,
You
I
know
can't
what
remember.
we have not mentioned, and it's a shame. Backyard baseball.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I had all the backyard sports.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Baseball
how I
was
learned what
the
a
clear
sack
goat,
was
though.
in football.
Didn't
Pablo,
It would
what's his
show a
name?
sack
Pablo
of
Sanchez.
potatoes.
I think baseball's the one I played.
Yeah.
Pablo Sanchez goated forever.
isn't it coming back like backyard baseball?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that.
I started seeing memes about it the other day.
Yeah, I think it is.
Where do you see your memes at, Thomas? Other than
Just
Instagram. You see
Instagram.
memes anywhere else?
Just Instagram.
You seem like a big Reddit guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Down.
Oh, you
sorry.
broke two? Man, I was so I what did I have 198.
Yeah.
Yeah, last week.
Yeah. I got 200 burgers hung on me 2 weeks in a row.
When I played John the last week of the season, Josh Allen had the best fantasy game ever. If they would have recorded it, since the beginning of football.
Because he had a rushing touchdown, a passing touchdown, and a receiving touchdown on the same play.
I know it was ridiculous.
It was great.
Yeah.
I love Josh Allen. He's the greatest. He's the greatest guy ever.
If you win the championship, I want to hear a victory speech.
If I win the championship,
He's
and I
gonna
get
win.
a tax refund in March, I'm buying a Josh Allen jersey.
I'll be very
wear it to the
surprised if you
draft.
don't win.
Yeah, at this point, you definitely have the best team.
I don't
Hey,
know.
Yeah.
In
It-
the
it just
history of
comes
our league, there's only been 2 people. Actually, it's only been done twice that someone's won 11 games. And that's,
But neither time you won the championship, though, right?
well, it's not over
Yeah,
yet.
that's true. That's true. Yeah, the second one. Yeah.
I know. It's just going to come
Yeah.
down to that last week. If the Bills decide to rest Josh Allen or something, it's going to be tough.
I'll pick up Trubisky.
They're basically the same.
Yeah.
If you don't really think about it.
Trubisky was drafted higher.
Oh, that's
It's
true.
fair.
That is true.
That's fair.
Sure.
For what it's
Why didn't any of us mention James Winston in the golf game?
He would be a good one.
Yeah, he'd been awesome.
Especially this
Oh,
new
he would be a good one.
reformed Jameis Winston.
Yeah,
I like Jameis now a lot
I
better than I used to
know.
like Jameis when he was on the Bucks.
yeah,
I mean, even the
Me
old one would have
too.
been fun because you could have got crab legs.
yeah. Oh, that's true.
For free.
He
For
had
free.
me dying whenever he he had all those interceptions, and he said, I'm praying to be delivered from the interceptions. Just deliver me from the
The pick
interceptions. Pick
sixes.
sixes, yeah, just deliver me from the pick sixes.
Saw a
that
quote.
dude is one of one.
Somebody said, Jameis Winston keeps both teams in the game.
Yeah, he does.
I know.
The one about after he had surgery and he said, I didn't know Bruce Arians was black. Or I thought Bruce Arians was black. That man is
That was a
crazy.
good one.
Now, him and
Yeah.
Chad Johnson
Dang,
would have
yeah.
been a good one to have together.
You're right. I'm thinking, I may replace John Daly with Jameis.
Or you've got to quit switching. It's tea time.
I don't think you'd
Yeah.
get through
I
18
know.
holes.
No.
You'd be asked to leave.
We'll just do one more and then we'll go ahead and call it a night because it's getting kind of late.
Yeah, I got to work tomorrow.
Yeah, I do. I don't have to get nearly as early as what you all have to, I'm sure. But
5 o'clock comes early.
yeah, just going forward, like sports wise, in this next year, because this is the end of the new year coming up. what's something you want to see? It can be in any sport, any type of, team winning, or it could just be a change or just some moment that you want to happen. What, going into this next year, what are y'all excited for? Thomas, I'll send it to you first.
Clearly, I would like for the Bengals to make the playoffs, win the Super Bowl. That would definitely be my number one sports wish for the rest of my life. Number two, I wish they'd fix the onside kick rule in the NFL, or ban kickers altogether. Actually, that's probably my number one. Let's ban kickers, and I think football would be so much better. Yeah, let's ban kickers. That's my number one.
Okay, ban kickers going into next season.
Yeah.
Probably work. What you got, Logan?
I'm going to start out with my Panthers here.
Draft town.
Keep doing what you're doing. Other than last week, we don't want to see any more of that. You take the defending world champions, and yes, I said world champions because there's no other National Football League in the rest of the world, so we are the world champions here. Sorry, Europe. Nobody cares about your football. To the wire. Then they went with the Bucks, which, I mean, it's a division game. You expect that. Division games are always close. Then they went to the Eagles. They went to Philly, one of the toughest places to play, and should have won if Xavier Legette would just quit eating coons for Thanksgiving dinner and just eat turkey like a normal person. That's insane.
You ever had a coon?
They're probably greasy.
Is that real?
That's disgusting. Yes, that's real. Yes, he said it.
He eats raccoons.
Yes. He said, my cousin caught a coon. They just called me. They said they caught a coon, and we going to go with
That's
no,
exactly
he said we,
how he said it.
He said we go. He said no. He said we going to take it. He said they're going to take his clothes off of it, and we're going to get it fixed up. What?
Gosh, those
Just
Christmas
catch.
cards.
No way.
That was amazing.
Those
I don't care
Christmas
about your
cards
stupid
were
accent. I just
brilliant.
want him to catch the ball. Just catch the ball.
I mean,
I'm not going to say what I've been saying
Fair.
for the last 3 weeks in the group, but just catch the ball.
I'm kind of curious, how it would taste.
Bad.
I don't
They
think they'd
literally
be
eat
good.
trash.
They-
They eat trash.
Would either.
They carry rabies. You probably shouldn't eat them.
Yeah,
I-
That's the first
I'm
time I've
imagining
ever
just-
heard of a person eating raccoon.
I used to
imagine
like
it's
coon a lot.
tough,
Yeah.
dry, dark meat, mostly
I
tendon.
used to
Probably
used to
about
coon
like
hunt a
eating
lot.
cat.
Probably worse. I used to coon hunt a lot, and I've been around it a whole lot, my whole life, and I've never heard of someone eating one of those things. That's
I know.
crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
You kill them and then you cut their skin off, or take their clothes off, as Xavier Legette says, and sell it, and then that's just it.
I mean, we've
You
all
don't
got
eat it.
Appalachian grandparents who will tell you about eating weird stuff, and I've never
don't think
heard
they-
one of
I don't
them
think
be
they
like,
eat
yeah,
coons.
we used to eat raccoon.
No,
I've never heard
No.
that.
it's nuts. But other than, I just want to see the Panthers keep getting better and have another good offseason like they did this year, and Dave takes another step and Bryce takes another step. I'll wait on my Bryce take till after the season. We'll see where we finish there. I said I'd do it in my halfway pod, but I don't think that's fair to him.
Yep.
To give that out now. But then I'll just say this is tough because we're a family here. But Hubert Davis, is time to go.
Heard people say that.
He's got to go. He's got to go. You
Yeah.
You get rid of Hubert Davis. You drive to the University of Alabama. You hand Nate Oates a blank check and say, you name your price.
I think that would be definitely a good option.
Be okay with that.
Love Hugh. Love what he means to the program. He ain't it. He don't know when to make subs. There was that one year he didn't know you could make subs, which was crazy. He had all these guys over here on the bench beside of him in uniform, and he's just like, "What
Just
are y'all?
chilling.
What are y'all doing?"
Yeah, just chilling. All those
so
guys left the next year.
And some high price tickets, guys.
I mean, like I said, love Hugh. Nothing but love for Hugh. He's not a good coach. I think this is what, year 3, 4? Year 3 of
4?
Hugh?
3 or 4.
Was it? Year 4? Okay, so that's even worse. Yeah, I mean, and even the first year, we shouldn't have been there. We should not have went to the Natty that year. We got hot at the
Caleb
right
Love.
time, which is and
Brady Manic.
that man Caleb Love is gonna be on my arm in like 27 days.
Nice.
So yeah, Caleb Love. That's the only reason Hubert Davis is still here, because he's been to the Natty.
Probably. Yeah.
So we'll leave it at that. Somebody else can go. Nate Oates, blank check. Name your prize.
I mean, for me, it's kind of like a year-round like misery right now because
New medical staff, we know.
Yeah.
Next.
you got the Niners who we had somewhat of and we got the talent, but yeah, I'm not gonna get into all that. But you summed it up very well. Kate stayed healthy, so there's that. I get to be depressed during the NFL playoffs. Eric, UVA fans or a college coach, Coach Bennett decided to leave us right before
Thank God.
before the season started. So we have a young team, and so far I don't think that I think Sanchez, I think's the coach. He's not really done a great job. I think as far as you're talking about subbing, and you're talking about somebody not wanting to sub at all. He subs I feel like we've got like 11-man roster that plays like every night. It's insane, but none of them really like. Well, Coffee's pretty good, but as far as the other ones, like nobody even really sticks out either. So, but you got that, so we're not probably going anywhere there. We got a football team that continues to be in the tank, and
y'all got a football team?
Yeah, exactly, and all the good players like Coandria, who was the one bright spot that, as far as like you just had fun watching him every week, he's gone. Coach Elliott, that experiment I don't think's working, but they decided to keep him and keep the coordinators that were terrible. So that's in the tank. So I really don't have anything as far as like personal to look forward to sports wise, which is a pretty depressing thought. But UFC, John Jones is back, so he's gonna fight Tom Aspinall hopefully between now and within the end of this next year. So for anybody that
I'm sure they'll cancel it.
They might. But from what I seen the other day is usually Dana doesn't ever say, yes, we're for sure doing one. It's always like, well, we'll see. And he's like, yeah, that fight's going to happen. So we'll see.
Is that young guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's like
that I saw a clip of him the other day saying he was better than Jones.
Mm-hmm. He's very good.
That's preposterous.
Very good. But that's kind of like your, what Rocky movie was it? Like 5 or 6 or something, like to where he comes back and does fight like the current champion to see if he's got it. Not saying that like Jones is at that point, but he is older. So it is kind of like, do you still got it? And, winning that one would be huge. So I guess that's the one sport moment that I'm kind of looking forward to. What do you have, John?
You do have one bright thing to look forward to. UVA won't get upset in the first round this year.
That is true. Well, we might make it to the NIT, so,
If you make it to the NIT, you can't go. Have some respect.
Yeah.
Let the NIT know you're better than them.
I don't think that. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, my football team, much like Logan's, although they haven't looked very good in losses, it's the Jaguars. Hopefully they lose out, get a top 5 pick. Maybe get Travis Hunter.
Easy now.
Is Trevor Lawrence still alive?
No, he died.
I think he did die. Ashley here got him a few weeks ago.
That's probably for the
yeah.
Might be for the best. I don't know.
At least he did apologize after. Like he acknowledged, like, man, I think I killed him.
Yeah, I think Lee Harvey Oswald did that after he killed JFK too. It was like,
possible.
it's my bad.
He was trying to, but then the government killed him too.
I had a bad day, guy. So sorry. The Thunder, they're pretty good, even though they lost the fake NBA Cup the other night.
Yeah, nobody cares about that.
Yeah, but I wasn't gonna care if they won.
No, you wouldn't.
So I'm excited for the NBA playoffs. I can pretend to like the NBA again when the playoffs start. March Madness always great. I've decided to be a Tennessee fan because I've never got to be in a cult before, so that seems like the closest I can get to. in my current situation. I'm excited for Richland basketball. Big things happening in our town, as they call
Yeah,
it.
I hear there's a lot of great coaching going on.
John Ward 1-0, and he resigned, so perfect record.
You can't go back.
Best coach to ever do it.
You can't
It's
go
better
back.
than the record we had for fourth grade girls back in the day.
Hey, we were 4-5.
Yeah, you're right.
Good first year. So those are just some of the things I'm excited about in sports in this upcoming year. I hope they do something about the transfer portal. Should not be in December, be in January, February.
Get Notre Dame out
Excited
of
for
that
the
transfer
NFL
portal.
playoffs. I love the NFL playoffs, even though I've only watched the Jaguars in it twice. Hopefully Josh Allen and the Lions meet up in the Super Bowl. That would be great. That's about all.
Yeah. I think that'd be the perfect matchup. I think everybody,
That would be a fun game.
everybody wins that way. Well, yeah, I'm sorry,
Except for
Tom.
the team that lose.
Yeah, I was gonna say, maybe not. Thomas
And the other 30 teams.
probably don't like that situation, that outcome. But
We're not gonna be there.
before you got on, John, Thomas said we're not gonna be there. But if X, Y, and Z, all these things like perfectly line up, and he's like, I hope I don't get my hopes up, but it's like he had every single like detail down
They're
to a
up.
My
T.
hope-
Yeah,
My hopes
Yeah.
are up.
Way up.
yeah,
We have a 2% chance, but
yeah.
it's on the rise.
Yeah, it's trending it. But anyway, I appreciate you guys coming on. It's been a minute since we've done one, and maybe one of these days we'll get everybody back on here.
Hopefully everybody other than Rusty.
Yeah, well, Rusty's the one that, he missed out again. So maybe one day
Rats.
we'll have some things. There's a few things we got in the chamber that we didn't pull out tonight. Logan, you had mentioned some things in the group chat and stuff, so we'll save till we can really get everybody in here. And
That's going to be a good
yeah,
one.
definitely. I think tonight was great. A lot of laughs. So I thank y'all for coming on.
If you missed Rusty Yates' appearance tonight, just search Georgia Bulldogs podcast and listen to about 3 of them. And
Found where all
you'll get the
podcasts can
same
be found.
experience.
And that would be the first matchup that he talked about.
Yes. Listen to the entire catalog, actually.
I would love for Tilo to get on. I tried to get him to get on tonight.
We'll get him on next time, maybe. If anything else, just get on, we can do it and not record it, or record it and not post it. I would be happy to even just have it, because I think that would be hilarious to be able to kind of listen to everybody. But anyway, I'll go ahead and end it, but thank you guys for coming on.